Hi everyone. Well, guess what? You fell into my doorway again. And guess where you are? In the proverbial green room. And guess who's there? The proverbial Melvin. Okay, well, since you're here, grab a chair, sit down, fall on the floor, pass out, whatever you feel you need to do. And maybe lend your ears a little bit here. What happened is this is going to be a twin flame video. And what happened is I was talking to somebody the other day, and they had mentioned to me something along this line that they were wondering in a twin flame union, because the twin flames go into the bubble love phase. They asked me, how do you bring the bubble love phase and the energy of it down into three-dimensional reality to apply it to the traditional relationship and family values and core values and parenting and all of that kind of stuff. And actually, I had to think about it for a minute. Well, actually about a minute and a half. And then I realized something that was going on is, in the case of myself and Nicole, that's exactly what we tried to do is in the beginning, was to bring the connection that we had because of the intensity of the connection. We tried to bring it down into formulation in respect to a traditional relationship that everybody else was living, and this is exactly where we ran into the problem. Yes, we had all of the emotional, mental, and the belief system issues that everybody else does in a twin flame connection, a twin flame union, a twin flame relationship, whatever you want to call it. But what happened is we finally came to the conclusion that we didn't need to bring the energy down to us or the connection down to us. We needed to bring us up to the connection. And I think this is where a lot of people are getting confused. And what's happening is, and this is happening even in the twin flame relationship phase also, this is where people are having problems because they're having these intense connections. And the other thing too is, when you start attaching all of the labels to all of this, the twin flame relationship, the soulmate, the twin soul, the twin ray, when you start doing all of that, then when you have people splitting off, and you have people deciphering it this way and deciphering it that way, when it's all said and done, really, when it really is all said and done, the whole thing is about the evolution of relationships, period, in that sense, period. The other labels are just making it more and more confusing for a lot of people to understand. And the bottom line of the situation is you have that euphoria connection with somebody, and you go through that bubble love phase. And all of you can remember, and I'm going to repeat it here, you were joined at the hip, everything's wonderful, everything's beautiful. You can talk for hours on end. You can join in happiness, and you can be in bliss. The lovemaking is fabulous, blah, blah, blah. And you can go on for hours here. And you could spend the rest of your lifetime talking about the time that you were in the bubble love phase and go no further than that because you want to live where that is. But what's happening is people come back down to reality, and they have to start facing the issues and the problems that come up. And I think there's a lot of confusion that I see in this specifically twin flame community, when what they're trying to do is, as I mentioned previously, is bring the bubble love phase or the energy or the concept of it down into a 3D traditional relationship. And you can't do that. It's not going to work in a traditional relationship format. The basic thing that I've been saying for a long time, and I think some people are finally starting to realize it, is what was the original purpose of twin flames coming here in the first place? They had a multi-purpose mission format. One aspect of the mission format was to create a new balanced template of a unified field of energy that is completed by two people in physical bodies. It completes a unified field of energy so that it could reestablish on the earth plane a balanced yin-yang template for a relationship, not a traditional relationship as we know it. The bottom line of the fact is relationships on our planet are not working anymore. Basically, marriages, I think statistically, and somebody will correct me if I'm wrong here, most marriages are breaking up after a 2-year period. And they're moving on and repeating the same pattern over and over again. Everything that's going on in our society, all right? All of the wild and silly things you see people doing, the behavior dysfunctions, the mental disorder, the diseases that we have, the environmental conditions that we have. Everything in our society is based on one premise. One premise and one premise only. I don't care who you are and how you argue with me. The basic premise on this planet that makes everything in our society function is relationships. It's a crucial change that's taking place in regards to them. Now, why would anyone in their right mind, want to take something that was way up here in connection at a soul-to-soul level and bring it down and put it back into a relationship format and put it into traditional family values and child rearing and the rest of it in that form? It's not going to work. It's not going to work because it didn't start from that point in the first place. All right? It had, excuse me, let me rephrase that. It started from this point in the first place, and it doesn't belong down here in three-dimensional reality the way it was. So you can't take something that you haven't created yet and bring it down and put it where it used to be in the concept that you used to have about relationships and that you lived in and we've all been manifesting in for who knows how long. That's no longer functioning, and it's creating the havoc, creating the changes on the planet, creating our society, and all of the brutality and all of the situations that are going on. And let's be honest about another thing here. As nice and as wonderful as the spiritual community is, as nice and as wonderful as the twin flame community is, we're still this species on a planet, a species, we're predators. We prey on everything. We prey on each other. We prey on our partners. We prey on our children. We do, in many ways. We have predators in every aspect of our society. Walk into a store, all right, and anybody that's in there is a predator. They're looking for something to grab, buy, sell, take, whatever they can get. We're a race and species of predators, and we're not going to remain that way. And that concept of relationship is based on that old premise of us being a predator species. So that's the way we act. Now, a lot of people say, well, I don't agree with that. I don't give a shit if you agree with me or not. It's a fact. We are a race of predators, and we need to move away from that race. So you can't take a soul-to-soul connection that was created and manifested beyond the body, beyond the environment, beyond the planet, and then bring it down and put it to where you were before in a traditional value system, core relationship, in living in the burbs type of situation. It's not going to work. I think I made my point. Did I? I think so. So what has to happen? What has to happen is you, being the entity, the being living in the body, you have to go where it is. And how are you going to get there? Call a cab? Take a bus? Get a hold of whatever that thing they do there, other Ubo or whatever the hell it is? They're going to take you there? No. You have to go there. And when you get up there, and you're in a unified field with yourself, all right, and if you're lucky enough to do it with another person, you're going to create it there. So let's suppose for the moment that you're in the heart center activation and you've moved up in your heart center activation to your understanding where your personality has changed, your habits has changed, your lifestyle has changed, you've changed, you've let go of some of your old concepts of love, relationship, or sexuality, as I've been trying to get through to so many of you for so long, and you're still not getting it. We're going to, as a species, drop the old concept of love, relationship, and sexuality as we knew it. Doesn't matter how much we love the old concept, how much we want to have the great sex and just be with the one and live in a little log cabin and go swimming in Hawaii or wherever else you want to go. It's not going to be here much longer. That old concept is dead, dying, tits up, lights out, gone, going, el finito, done diddy. Can you dig it? And when this happens, and you go through the personal surrender that all of us have to do, then you understand that you have to begin moving up at a personal vibrational level. Some people are going to call this ascension, okay? I call it for many people a pain in the ass, all right? Because literally that's what's going to take to get some of you there, a pain in the ass to get you to ascend, all right? In other words, perhaps lighting a fire under your ass and some of you might be the thing to do. Are you following me so far? Are you having fun? Have you left yet? Did you get annoyed? Did I upset you? Good. Excellent. We're on a roll. That's my purpose in life, to motivate people. How am I doing? Sometimes I love the videos that I do. It gives me a chuckle myself. Anyways, what's happened is as you move up into these higher vibrations and the body is actually moving with you at each step of the road, what happens is based on the experiences that you have, you start formulating new ideas, new concepts of love, relationship, and sexuality at a certain point. For example, I'll use the terminology so popular in the twin flame community and the spiritual community as a whole. You move into the lower vibrations of fourth density in the heart center, and your personality changes, you see, and you go through all of these neat little nifty changes, and you become a spiritual person, and you hang out in Facebook groups, and you pretend to be an old great guru and all that fluffy shit that goes along with it, you see, and you're in 4D. And then people are still saying, well, what the hell is 4D? Well, it's one step higher than 3D. That's the answer. Very simple. So you progress a little further. You get some life experiences that come toward you. You get some people that come toward you. You make some choices, all right, which manifest as circumstances around you. And based on those choices, you make decisions, well, I don't think that was a good choice in that sense by what happened. So you make some alterations, you recalibrate, and you change your mind about things, and you throw out this particular aspect of the concept of love that you had, and you replace it with another. So you have a heart-centered connection with somebody, and you go on Google, and you feel this intense connection, and you stumble or trip through and fall onto somebody's website that's talking about twin flame, and you say, oh my God, I found my twin flame. But you didn't know what it was before that, and you probably would have been better off if you hadn't pursued it any further, because being dumb and not being aware or knowing with some of the information that's going on out there would probably be much better for you in the first place. And now you're moving into 5D, you see. And in 5D, you're now entering into the land of the elite. Now, what are the elite? The elite are the ones that talk the prettiest, and they have all of the right words to say. They have all of the proverbs, all of the cliches, all of the favorite sayings, and they know how to put them all together. You can't piss them off, all right, because they're so above everything, all right. Their vibration is so profound and deep and with depth that you can't annoy them, because they're on the pinnacle of their apex of superiority, indicated by their ego reflection manifesting back from a mirror to themselves, and they're so in love with themselves they don't need anybody else. How are we doing so far? Having fun? So anyway, this is a fun video. That's what we're doing. We're having fun here. So this is 5D, all right? So when you get into 6D, something else has to happen. Now you can't take the ego with you. You can't take the emotional self with you. You can't take your sexuality as you experience it in physical reality with you. You can't take another person with you. You can only take you. So what happens is, when the bubble love made manifests, and I loved it that I'm the one that coined that, and everybody on the planet is now using it. I'm famous for that, and it's my one hallmark to fame. The bubble love phase, coined by the Melvinator. That's me. And what happens is, it applies. So now you've experienced the bubble love, and now you figured out you have to go there. So what does that do to our society? How does that work in our society? So what happens at this particular point is, so many are still thinking, well, how do we bring that all down and put it into our society? You don't. You take you, first of all, up to meet your bubble love phase vibration, which you can do alone, or you can do with your Twinkie, or a twin flame, or a soul buddy, or a beer buddy, or a pot-bellied soulmate, or a soulmate, or a split apart, or an ascension partner, whatever the hell label you want to use, all right? You can even put wings on yourself and call yourself the Tooth Fairy if you want. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm just trying to get you there. I don't care about rank and title and bullshit. Can't you see? So anyways, moving right along, as we're going on, what we're going to do is we're going to come up with brilliant ideas, not how to bring it down to us, but to take us and our society, now we're cooking, our society up with us. And how do we do that? Very easily. Because as we move into that higher vibration, and we formulate new concepts of love, relationship, and sexuality, and once we discover that it's a permanent thing, and you actually like being in upper 5 and 6 or even 7D dimensional aspects, if you will, and you get comfortable with it, why the hell would anybody in their right mind want to go back down and stay in 3D? I mean, the only thing we got going there for us is freaking Netflix. And now we got Trump on top of it. I mean, how damn ridiculous can it get? And you still want to stay here? What the hell would anybody in their right mind want to stay here for? I don't get it. Why would we not want to go up, leave the rest of the dribble behind in that fashion, and then take those that want to go with us up and formulate from our lofty perch, in 4, 5, 6, and 7D, and create as we go along. So, what does this have to do with family values? All right? So right now, basically, as I see it, the family unit, per se, not in every case, but the family unit as we know it is disintegrating. How many families do you know today can actually sit down, all of the members of the family, and have dinner together all at the same time without having a handgun strapped to their hip, or they got an automatic rifle around their shoulder, or if they're feeling really good, they got their cell phone in the other hand. So we got everybody sitting at the table with their handgun strapped on their hip, partner. And then we got the soldier with his AK-47 and hand grenades, whatever, on the shoulder. And then we got everybody else with cell phones. We're all sitting down to have supper. Now that's what the family values are going toward at this point. So what happens with this? This is a place you want to establish family values here in those kind of circumstances? I don't think so. Take a look at your family, even if you're not living with your family at this particular point. Take a look back on your family history. Is your family got a whole pile of really positive, creative, good things to look at? Or are you in the big majority of families that have dysfunctional patterns, addictions, all kinds of abuses going on, mental, emotional, sexual abuses that have been going on for generation after generation? And this is the background for relationships in our society today? Is it any bloody wonder? We got people swinging on garden fences, all right, riding moose, driving down the highway at 250 kilometers an hour on a motorcycle. Think about it. So the idea, and you want to bring children up in this at the same time? Nowadays, you pretty much have to have a leash on your children all the time, because you don't know when some predator is going to grab them wherever, at any age, at any time. All right? And then you turn on the TV and all you hear is the body count. It's on the TV. And this is our society. This is the basis of our relationship. This is what the average people are exposed to every day. I'm not saying about the Illuminati in the spiritual community and in the twin flame community. No, I don't mean you guys. I mean, you guys you're the cream. All right? And you can all sit on your little Facebook groups and all be happy and loving and express your problems and feel and that kind of stuff. Well, the rest of the world goes to shit. All right? And it's going to shit because that's what it's supposed to be doing, because the system don't work anymore. So we got lucky. We had a handful of twin flames come down with a mission format, and one was to set a new template for relationships, which has been done, which has brought the availability of the bubble love phase as an opportunity to everyone to raise yourself up, brothers and sisters. You see? And this is what's happening. Why would you want to bring this down here? You need to go up. And come on, baby, light my fire type of situation. So as you move up, you've been learning by experience to create a reality in the present comfort zone that you have. Now I'm being serious, okay? You have created a comfort zone in the reality that you have created based on these three principles: love, relationship, sexuality. Nothing else matters except those three ingredients, all right? Those are the three basic ingredients of a relationship format, a society format, a balanced individual, and your expression as an entity as you live in a physical body, going through the process of raising yourself up to a higher vibration. So what happens is, as you go along and you get up into a certain dimension or a certain vibration and you're comfortable there, you create a reality. You create value systems. You create moral behavior and expression and creativity. And you're fully free to stay at that particular vibration, if that's your comfort zone, for the next 1,000 years if you want. And you can keep recycling and doing it again. But some of us have learned that growth is perpetual. All right? Why do you think there's 7 billion people on this planet right now? I'll tell you why. Because they don't think there's any place else to go. That's why. They think this is the only place to go. And we've forgotten about where home is. That's why we have 7 billion people here, because there's no place else they think they can go. So they keep coming back. This is not complicated, guys. It's simple. So this is what happens. And when you finally come down to the situation, if you're going to parent people, you're going to give birth to children in this reality. Oh, and I hear all this stuff about, the indigos and the blue-rays and the crystalline children and all that crap, all right? That hasn't even happened yet, all right? The children of the future, all right, the children of the future are going to be brought into the world, not in this 3D world, but they're going to be brought into the world in a 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D expression of dimension and reality by people who have attained to that vibration at a mental, emotional, spiritual, but also at a body physical level. So we're going up, not bringing it down in that expression. So as I said in the beginning, when the person made this statement to me, I had to think about it for a while. Actually, I thought about it for about 3 or 4 days. And I had a lot of laughs, a lot of chuckles, and a lot of meditations on it. And the end result is this video, all right? Some people might get their feathers ruffled out of it, if they have feathers, all right? They might be a lizard or a snake man or something like that, I don't know, whatever, or snake woman or a witch or a broomhilda or whomever, or they could be some kind of whatever, whomever, whatever, trying to look at, you know how it works. So anyways, finding and putting this together, the idea was to remind people in a kind of an off-color, spoofy way, fun thing, sometimes being this, sometimes being that, is to, what I was trying to do in the video, and I think some of you will have caught on, is I was trying to go through several different vibrations and patterns and energies while doing the video, all right? So that you could see me at different vibrations and energy. And for those of you who could see, and I mean literally see, you would actually be able to see in my energy field the shifts and the colors of the shifts that I made during the course of the video. So even if nobody else knows what I'm talking about, those of you who see do. And if you can see, then that's what you're going to be seeing down the road. You're going to be seeing things that others don't see. You're going to be feeling things that others don't see. You're going to be creating things that others don't see, feel, touch, taste, or can smell. And those will be left behind. Because it's a choice thing, and it's a progress, and it's a project of evolution that's taking place for twin flames, twin souls, twin rays, soulmates, Twinkies, whatever you want to call it. It's a process. And there are people that have come here to initiate the process, and they've done a marvelous job. All of them. Thank you for your attention. Have a great day.